My name is Virgilio G. Roel, and I'm a World War II veteran. I think we were renting that for about $8 a month on the corner of San Eduardo and Garcia in Laredo, Texas. 2 or 3 of the kids slept on the floor, on a mat, unos petates. And my father had a separate small building in the backyard where he had the printing shop. And he published a weekly newspaper called Fronterizo. My mother and him came from Guerrero in 1913. This is my graduation from Martin High School in 1941. And like at that time, I was working, pretty much over 60 hours a week, aside from going to school full time. The name of the store was Victor Moran's grocery store. It was a big store. It had a lot of stuff in there. And sometimes when I used to go and deliver groceries in a wheelbarrow, sometimes they, didn't go too well when you had some eggs in your grocery orders and something happened. You might have some eggs flying on the street. After high school graduation, I was offered a job to apply for the FBI. And, I went to San Antonio and took the test, and I passed it. By the time I got back, I decided to, because my other friends were going to go into the Army, that I also would go into the Army. And I took the infantry training, and I went through the infiltration course, when you go crawling and they're firing machine guns on top of you, and you're ashamed to quit, They go, especially it says, here's the little Mexicano quitting because he doesn't want to jump, but, they're not going to do that to me. But I used to have to speak for some of the people in the paratroopers that they discriminated against, sometimes Orientals and sometimes American Indians, and I used to come to their defense. The American GI Bill, which was called the Veterans Readjustment Act of 1944, was the greatest piece of legislation ever enacted by Congress, because it gave veterans like me a chance to go to university. So I came out of the Army in December 1945, and I went to UT Austin in February 1946, and I got my degree in 2.5 years, and I hitchhiked to Washington, D.C. to go to Georgetown Law School, and I got my degree there in 1952. The American GI Forum was an organization formed by Dr. Hector P. Garcia of Corpus Christi. It was an organization that was formed because even after the war, there was still discrimination against Mexican Americans throughout Texas. That also gave great impetus to not only education, but empowering people, knowing that getting together, that organizing, your voice was heard, more solidly than you spoke alone. From that eruption, from that revolution, you had, previously poor, humble Mexican Americans turned into lawyers and doctors and nurses and bankers. I have been an attorney in Texas and Washington since 1952, and I was appointed federal judge, by John Kennedy. I got a wire from the White House, saying that they wanted to meet me. And, they offered me this position as being legal counsel and member of the Board of Appeals of the Post Office Department. And my time in the military was the greatest time of my life. I'm very proud, and I would do it, as many times as necessary.